I just don't know where I'd be without you guys. Honestly, I don't get the support at home. You know, I told her, I was so clear, the price is gonna go up, only up. And it did. And then I bought it at the peak. And even then, I said the thing we always say. You can live in a car, you can't drive a house. Now I live in a car.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, but thank you so much for showing up again and sharing. And see a new face here? Would you like to share your story?
Sure, yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
And I paid asking price for a Mazda RX-7. Honestly, I don't even know how it happened.
Could have been the ad. Did you say no lowballers or I know what I have?
Both.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll do it.
Yeah, every time.
You're watching Throttle House. And I'm James. And this is my 2023 Mazda MX5. And I will posit to you that this is the most fun sports car for the money. It's light, it's revvy, it's pure. I think it's the best way to spend $35,000 if you want to have a ton of fun.
I've got another Mazda sports car option for that price. Ish. This is one of the most legendary sports cars of all time. The Mazda RX-7.
Except these are not 35 or 40 grand, are they?
No.
No, you're taking liberties.
Yeah.
Otherwise they wouldn't have been in the intro.
You can get these for 35 or 40 grand though.
Right, but what do they look like?
I mean, they'll be like missing interiors or panels or
That's
engines.
what I figured, yeah.
Yeah. But listen, forget about the price for a second, okay?
Okay.
I think that you're gonna like this car because FD, ND.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Fundamentally, similar philosophy between these. Both of these cars were actually lighter than their predecessors. They employed the Graham strategy or whatever.
Or whatever.
Just, I don't know how it works.
Trivialize
Just
it.
get in and drive a lightweight Mazda from the 90s and experience $100,000, which is what this one's probably worth because it's a museum piece. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing 13,000 kilometers here.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I seem like a skeptic, but that's only the price. Forget that. When it comes to lightweight, manual, fun Mazdas, I'm at home. I love it. I live for this.
In the past, we've said that true happiness lies on the other side of 7,000 RPM, a threshold that usually only naturally aspirated engines can deeply penetrate. But the FD RX7 has turbos, 2 of them, and yet it redlines at 8,000 RPM. Why? Well, instead of traditional pistons, Mazda went with a different, powerful yet compact engine, a Wankel Rotary. I'm doing a terrible German accent there because saying it my way will get me a slap on the wrist from my mum. The Wankel, ow! See? Comes with its own full list of do's and don'ts for maintenance, but the Rotary is a completely different format to anything else on the road and one that allows it to rev higher. And this generation of RX-7 has 2 sequential turbochargers helping it out, making it the first mass-produced version of its kind and one that produces 255 horsepower.
The engine is small, it's light. 1.3 litres isn't a lot, but when you add 2 turbos, it gives it power. And it beeps when you hit the red line. I don't know whether that's to cheer you on or to tell you to stop doing it, but even though we redline cars a lot on Throttle House, This is one of those rare times where I get to do it and not feel bad because, as they say about rotaries, a red line a day keeps the mechanic away. You are supposed to redline this. I think at least once, but maybe we'll just do it a bit more than that. It feels genuinely quick. It feels just as quick as my MX5. It feels just as quick as the 86 BRZ twins. And it's 30 years old. 5 seconds to 60 is nothing to be ashamed of. So if I slow down, drop it into first gear, accelerate, you can feel that second turbo, about 4,500, 5,000 RPM, really start to get excited as it comes in. There's push, there's torque. The one thing there isn't is theatre. It doesn't really sound much in its stock form. I'm not able to enjoy what's going on with that engine any more than I would in a 4-cylinder naturally aspirated Miata from the day. I know that with the right exhaust, that could be woken up way more because there's literally no sound deadening in here. So with a fun exhaust, you would get way more experience out of this. But despite those turbochargers, yes, there's a lack of noise, but it revs. Mazda are focused on the joy of driving, and you can tell in this that they've tried to keep that sports car vibe. But a lot of the experience, as with all Mazdas that are manual, is in the 3 pedals and the shifter in my hands. It is very similar to the MX5 shifting experience. Wonderfully connected, beautifully weighted clutch. The shifter's a little bit more notchy than I would like. It feels like there's a security guard at neutral that just stops you for a second before you can carry on. But it's purposeful. But I think this is one of those cars that doesn't even need to drive as well as it does because it's just so beautiful and iconic. People see this, it's immediate love, immediate respect.
Here's the thing. People don't talk about 90s sports cars without talking about the Toyota Supra. But interestingly, and a lot of people seem to overlook this, the Supra was actually meant to be more of a GT car. The RX-7, on the other hand, is a sports car, which means compared to the Supra, it's light. It's really light. Like 700 pounds lighter. That means it's pretty good in the corners. Mazda was obsessed with keeping the weight down in this car. And it's very obvious because it has a delicacy, it has a lightness to it. There's just something, I don't know why this word's coming to my head, whimsical about ripping down a fall landscape like this with a car that's this light. No, it's not the lightest car ever. In fact, it's about the same weight as a new BRZ. But you know what? That's a really great sports car. And it handles very, very well. And this, because that engine is so light up front, rotaries are not very big, there's just this sensitivity to the front end that I really enjoy. It just turns in. And the suspension is very sophisticated. Double wishbones, front and rear. Yes, it just slices through roads like this so happily until you hit a bump. Because the ride is horrible, awful. Bangs and it clangs and it makes all sorts of awful noises. I would put better quality coilovers on this so quickly. But the feel of that front end when you turn in, yeah, it's nice. It feels like the mass is here with you. I'm piloting the steel as it forms around me and flexes into the corner. It's nice, it's a satisfying feeling. I can totally get why people like driving these. That said, it's not all perfect. I don't find the steering to be that talkative. And I'm having a really hard time navigating my way around the boost. I'm sure James was talking about the sequential turbocharging. But I'm having a hard time keeping in the back of my head where I am in between turbochargers. Because the transition isn't seamless enough for me to balance it through the corner with consistent throttle application. This is just one of those cars that, I think we did an entire video series about this, that proves that lightness is everything. Because even though there are many faults to the way that it drives, just it being light makes up for so much of it in the fun department. I don't care that it's banging and clanging around me. I just don't, oh, there's the boost in the middle of a corner, Jesus, okay. I don't care about any of the faults really when you're on a road like this, because I'm just enjoying the transitions in weight. I'm enjoying the way that it moves around, the bumps and the undulations. I get a view like that in front of me. All the rest of it melts away in the end. Lightweight sports cars are so rare now. And so, you know, maybe the price makes sense. Maybe things like this do need to continue to be celebrated. Or we'll forget them. I think what you said was correct. Just a few mods.
It feels sacrilege to look at like an icon like this and be like, I would change this, this, and this, but I just...
But that's what these cars are, though.
Good, okay.
Right?
So
like, they are that. That's the culture of them, is modifying,
it just feels so stock right now. Like, even this trim doesn't have a wing.
I want a wing.
I think it needs it.
It's beautiful.
Stunning.
Like, it's like the swoop of the line all the way through is sensational, but a big, like, just huge wing would just, that's what I want.
Off wing.
Yeah, just off wing.
We'll bleep that.
Yeah.
This actually comes at an interesting time because we didn't plan this, but Mazda just showed their new RX, the 17th RX concept thing.
Yes.
But maybe it's closer to real than it's ever been before, but it's the iconic SP, which sounds like a little Nintendo device that you open and play games
Yeah,
on.
it's not a good name.
No, but it is a dual rotor, rotary powered, electric powertrain successor to this that somehow only still weighs 3,100 pounds.
And can be like hydrogen powered or something?
Yeah, it's carbon neutral fuel stuff, yeah.
Okay, sure. I mean, if they're keeping, you know, some form of explosion happening, I'm happy.
I like what they've done with the design, because the FB, 2 generations before this, was sort of like Lotus Elan. It was more of a copycat. And then you got the FC, which kind of covered the Porsches.
Yeah, that was also a very good car. I raced against one of those this year.
Did you lose?
I'd be very fast. Yeah, it was a proper car.
And then this was like the Mazda thing. And the new iconic SP looks Mazda-y.
Yeah.
It also looks like a Lotus from the back, an LC500 from the rear 3/4, an 812 Ferrari from the front, Maserati Gran Turismo from the profile. It's like all quite beautiful cars. So, and they did it for the joy of driving. That's what they said it has at the forefront, the joy of driving.
That's all well and good, but the thing is that car that you were just talking about has all of those cars in it. This car very much has this car.
It's very much this car.
It is this car.
Yeah.
Right? Things look like this. It doesn't look like things. Does that make any sense?
All cats are animals, not all animals are cats.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, I love that it has pop-up headlamps, and it is weirdly one of the cars out there, one of the few cars out there, that it looks better with the pop-ups down than it does with the pop-ups up.
Unlike Tofu.
Unlike Tofu. Tofu is just a little happy, yeah.
I think the pictures and videos portray this as well. It's small.
It is very small.
You know, it doesn't have much of a larger footprint than my Miata.
Which explains why it drives so light. Right?
I like that. That's everything. That's everything to me.
It is everything.
I just can't get my head around the prices.
I know.
Because
it's just too much money. It's just too much money.
On one end of the scale, you have an NA Miata from the same year, the
Yeah.
first generation Miata, which I think gives you just as much joy, even if it doesn't feel as special.
I would say more joy.
More joy.
I would say more joy.
And it's like a fifth to a seventh of the price.
Yeah.
Or there's a new MX5 that's like,
There you go.
You know.
Only a matter of time. I will say that
you have to love the Rotary.
You do have to love the Rotary. And unfortunately, we didn't get the most Rotary-ish experience today. Like, the sound is so muted. If you when you mod these things and exhaust and intakes and all the stuff that you have to do, they make noises.
Yeah, but then
great
it's
noises.
a double standard, because then we'll be like, oh, you can never find an unmolested one of those.
That's true, yeah.
And we're like, okay, here's how we're going to change
The
it.
first thing we're going to do is this, this, and this. I will say, back to the Miata for a second, though, and this is a really important one, is that in a Miata, you can put the top down,
Yeah.
and then you don't have to listen to 90s interior noises.
It's a lot of creak. This is much more creaky than the Miata.
Let's go take a look. Yeah, it's,
It's not an expensive feeling, but
no.
if the philosophy is lightweight, I forgive everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
That's all that actually matters, because it is a sports car. So nowadays, we always seem to try to get a little bit of everything, as opposed to just letting a sports car be a sports car, right? Maybe Porsche still does it, and there's some interior rattles in modern Porsches, but like, I don't know, this is exactly what it should be. Driver-centric cockpit, a big old tack, a manual transmission, a full-on manual handbrake, obviously, sports seats.
But I don't think it's that compromised, actually. These seats are quite comfortable.
The seats are comfortable.
There's storage space in the back there with
Quite a lot
the
of
big
storage.
bins.
Yep. And surprisingly, quite a serious sound system.
Yes, that doesn't work for us.
No,
but it looks insane.
Yeah, it's apparently one of Bose's early forays into really high-end interior audio. There's like a tremendous long tube of subwoofer in the back that they've packed into
Two Cobras.
that take a lot of trunk space up. I feel like if that was an option, I would have not taken it.
But what if it sounds so good?
I don't care, I got a Rotary. Just give me an exhaust and I don't need to listen to the radio ever, right?
That's fair, that's
Right?
fair. It's a very driver-centric cockpit here.
Yeah.
Like the gauges are great. The seating position's a bit strange.
By strange, do you mean bad? Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes.
The steering wheel doesn't move, telescope or tilt.
It only
So-
goes like this.
it turns this way, yeah.
But you can move the seat back and forth. You can lean it.
I love how you're pointing out the features. That's great. You can lean it,
You've got a
right?
disco ball installed back there.
And the
Yeah.
light next to the disco ball.
It has a working sunroof.
Yep.
Tofu don't have that.
Nope.
And it has red leather.
Red leather, which interestingly, I believe in Canada wasn't a possibility. You couldn't get the black exterior with the red interior,
No,
right?
I think they thought it was going to be. And so
Right.
they delivered this as the pre-production car,
Right.
and then it never happened.
Never went into production. I love the red though. I think it's great. It's very sports car-ish. Also, I just love the tack. I love looking at it. I love how legible it is.
But there's comforts. There's
It reminds me of
ABS.
a watch. It's
There's cruise control on here.
Yeah, no traction control.
Reminds you
though.
of a watch.
Yeah,
Because
it's
there's
awesome.
numbers and dials.
Yeah, I like the way that the ticks go. No, this is great. It's very obviously a 90s Japanese car.
Yes.
Right.
I think if this was a Meet Your Heroes, you'd be fine. You just with an asterisk of there's just a few things I would change because fundamentally
It's all here.
it's great.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, and after my full week with it, neither of us really came away smitten with the RX-7, and we desperately wanted to be. It really feels like a car that deserves modification. It feels untapped. It's got the looks and the fundamentals are there, but its stock form just needs waking up a bit, which should not be and isn't difficult, as proved by everyone in the aftermarket world. And importantly, from a modern perspective, the RX-7 prioritizes something that seems to have been long forgotten amidst the horsepower wars: being lightweight. And that is a breath of fresh air. Couple that with its 50-50 weight distribution and satisfying driving controls, and it's certainly not hard to see why it's become a Japanese sports car icon and a modder's dream.
Its current day market price still defies logic though. It also requires more attention than a Tamagotchi to keep alive. But we, as car enthusiasts, have monkey brains, and what bigger enemy is there to logic than the fog of nostalgia and beauty, both of which the FD RX-7 has in droves. If that's enough for you to part with 50 upwards of 100 grand, well then, at least there's a support group out there. We're all here for you. Thanks for watching.
And cut.
Good, we got it? Awesome. All right.
Thank
Thanks
you
for coming, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's good. Anyway, Imagine if we actually bought these cars though, right?
You have to be an idiot.